Sorry about that. Just like we're just going to be in the discussions of pros and cons, is one of the cons of technologies is interruptions. So for example, I just had an interruption on my video recording device. And so that would also potentially happen as a teacher in the classroom. So you must be aware of that potential is a con of distractions. Is one of the biggest cons. Is even with your students using technology, they may be distracted to go play Angry Birds, woo, or different video games or other perhaps social networking websites and stuff like that. So those are big cons towards it as well. So, you know, in the umbrella of advantages and disadvantages, the pros is that the students as well as yourself will have a greater literacy with the technology. So you'll be able to log on, boop, 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 and figure and navigate through and troubleshoot and be able to understand how the technology kind of works for your benefit through trial and error and critical thinking. So you develop those skills with critical thinking as well as problem solving. So those are the types of things that your students will also go through as well as yourself by working through the technology. It's an alternative learning tool. So students can use it just like I'm doing right now. I'm using my phone to videotape me on my learning successes, because instead of perhaps writing a paper and cranking out your work that way. Some may find it challenging or difficult, but it's another way of learning different ways of how to learn. And we'll get into different accommodations and stuff in the middle section of the video. So we have apps. So there's tons of million gajillion apps that you can use to your benefit, whether it's multiplication or division. So all these different subjects, there's tons of apps. Whether it is even for physical education, there's exercise apps like 7-minute workouts. So you 1 minute sit-ups, push-ups, 1 minute rest. All these different circuit type things, which could perceive as valuable in the phys ed environment as well. And then we also have the ebooks. So ebooks are great because they save on paper. So we can go in the woods, and there will be a woods compared to if there isn't any woods. So you have that option, as well as with that options. A lot of times the ebooks have quizzes or flashcards. I love flashcards because that's how good preparation for tests and stuff like that. As well as diagrams, all these extra resources you can use that usually come with the ebooks. A big thing is a communication tool between parents and the community as well as the students. So there's, whether it's snow days or whatever's going on, as long as we've got power, that's another con or disadvantage is if you don't got power, you can't really use your technology. But again, with the communication, using it as a good tool, we can see marks, we can see the assessment, we can see plans for the future. There's fundraisers, schedules, all these different things can all be wrapped up into that little cute little package of 21st century learning. As well as we got a content viewer, content viewer, sorry. So again, you can review your content. Like if it's on the Moodle, you can just log on to Moodle, boop, 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 and you can read through things, whether it's news articles and stuff like that. So we have that. We have the exploration. So the students get to try and explore through different avenues all over the internet, whether it's scholarly articles or databases or different research and then things of that nature. As well as we have, I've seen some examples of virtual field trips, where you go through if you want to go visit Lewisburg, for example, you might be able to take a pathway through Lewisburg. So you may not be able to pay to go to Europe or pay to go to New York, and you can take the virtual tour or something with your class, which would be super exciting, And then you can also keep track of your teacher records, your plans, your lesson plans. You can forward them off to other people and share in the whole network of things, which kind of leads us to our third part of the video, which we'll get to momentarily. So those are pretty much most of the advantages or pros of it. Some cons are sometimes these things cost a lot of money. So if I were to drop my phone, it would be pretty hefty to replace, or even to give a whole class a bunch of them or supply them. So that's very cost effective. As well as when it comes to cost effective, sometimes the equipment, excuse me, does become outdated and needs updating. So that's something we need to look forward to, as well as the reliability. So if power goes out or the batteries are running weird and funky, then all these different things can go wrong, or something freezes or the system crashes, or these random different things that may happen when you try to use your technology. So that's why, again, when we get to the third part, you got to practice as a teacher, work with things, and keep, testing things out and playing around, And so, as well as it's hard to plan for that, as well as, again, with the potential distraction with the device in their hands, they have this whole open source. So with that being said, we have to be proactive in exposing our students to this content and letting down the expectations and having these different waivers and the data security and explaining the whole academic integrity and have these infrastructures in place that they don't end up compromising what they have. So you gotta list expectations. We gotta have blocking and restricted access to the technology or whatever device they're using. And we also gotta monitor. So, we gotta do all these things to be proactive and inform them. But again, if we have to be reactive, there has to be some sort of reactive, like, punishment if someone does something wrong, or some protocol in place that other people will not repeat the similar action. So that is, as well as a couple other cons are tech support. So you'll have to rely on a lot of tech support to be able to come in and fix these or keep them maintained, as well as the training, the professional development. All these things cost coin and time. So time is coin, coin is time, and that whole continuum of those things. So that is the first kind of legal and social and ethical part of the issues.